Fighting raged northwest of Kyiv on Saturday, with the bulk of Russian ground forces 25 kilometers 16 miles from the center of the Ukrainian capital, while several other cities were encircled and under heavy shelling, the UK Defense Ministry said. Ukraine's Deputy Prime Minister Irina Vereshchuk said she hoped that several humanitarian corridors would open on Saturday for thousands of residents in the bombarded cities, including from the besieged port city of Mariupol to Zaporizhia. At least 1,582 civilians in the southeastern city of Mariupol have been killed as a result of Russian shelling and a 12-day blockade, the city council said in an online statement on Friday. It was not possible to verify casualty figures. Air raid sirens blared across most Ukrainian cities on Saturday morning, urging people to seek shelters, local media reported, after President Volodymyr Zelensky said the war had reached a strategic turning point. Russian forces appeared to be regrouping, possibly for a fresh offensive which could target the capital Kyiv in a few days, Britain's defense ministry said on Friday. In a Saturday update, it said fighting northwest of the capital continued, and the cities of Kharkiv, Chernihiv, Sumy and Mariupol remained encircled under heavy Russian shelling. Efforts to isolate Russia economically have stepped up, with the United States imposing new sanctions on senior Kremlin officials and Russian oligarchs, and the European Union set to strip Russia of its privileged trade status on Saturday. With the Russian assault in its third week, Zelensky, who has rallied his people with a series of addresses from the capital Kyiv, said Ukraine had already reached a strategic turning point. The United States on Friday imposed sanctions on Russian billionaire Viktor Vekselberg. Russian forces kept up their bombardment of cities across the country on Friday in the biggest assault on a European country since World War II. Satellite images showed them firing artillery as they advanced on Kyiv. The fighting has created more than 2 million refugees, and thousands of Ukrainians are trapped in besieged cities. Putin calls the invasion a special operation to disarm Ukraine and unseat leaders it calls neo-Nazis. Ukraine and Western allies call this a baseless pretext for a war of choice that has raised fears of wider conflict in Europe. The governor of the Kharkiv region on the Russian border said a psychiatric hospital had been hit, and the mayor of the city of Kharkiv said about 50 schools there had been destroyed. In the southern city of Mariupol, the city council said at least 1,582 civilians had been killed by Russian shelling and a 12-day blockade that has left hundreds of thousands trapped with no food, water, heat, or power. Moscow denies targeting civilians. Russia's defense ministry said the Black Sea port was surrounded, while Vereshchuk said Russian shelling prevented people from leaving along a humanitarian corridor on Friday. The situation is critical, Ukrainian Interior Ministry advisor Vadim Denisenko said. Western countries, meanwhile, took more economic steps to try to force Putin to end his assault. President Joe Biden, who this week banned U.S. imports of Russian oil, said the G7 industrial powers would revoke Russia's most favored nation trade status. He also banned U.S. imports of Russian seafood, alcohol and diamonds. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said the EU would, on Saturday, suspend Moscow's privileged trade and economic treatment, crack down on its use of crypto assets, and ban the import of iron and steel goods from Russia, as well as the export of luxury goods in the other direction. Russia's main force had been stalled north of Kyiv, having failed what Western analysts say was an initial plan for a lightning assault.